Here we go with some Get Woke, Go Broke. This is awesome. This is hilarious. Starbucks is finally reaping what it has sown over the past, 5-10 years. Coffee giant Starbucks will lay off workers and close stores as part of a $1 billion restructuring plan. $1 billion restructuring plan. They've lost a lot of money. CEO Brian Nichols said in a memo to employees Thursday. We'll get into the comments here, but let's read the full story first, okay? Starbucks to lay off 900 workers, close stores in North America. Coffee giant Starbucks will lay off workers and close stores as part of their $1 billion restructuring plan. The company will slash 900 employees in non-retail roles across North America. Nichols said the store closures will amount to a roughly 1% decline in the total number of Starbucks locations in North America in this fiscal year, after accounting for some store openings, Nichols added. That's crazy that just 1% of their stores is enough to cover $1 billion. But, Starbucks is literally in almost every single store. It's not just a standalone store. They're also in other places, like look at Barnes & Noble and college campuses. Look at really any other place. There's some Googles out there that have a Starbucks inside of them. You know what I'm saying? Not that they need it, because good God, Google has like a 5-star chef at almost every single location that gives away free food. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of stuff I could tell you about Google if you guys are super interested as a guy who used to work on site at Google. Just in general, if y'all are ever interested in that, I'll gladly tell you crazy stuff. Nothing, obviously, just for Google's sake. Obviously, I'm not going to tell anybody anything proprietary or that, falls under their NDA. I don't talk about that stuff. But, in general, crazy stories I have. Oh, man, I got to tell you guys about the women's restroom incident, too. Talk about a funny prank involving, it was a big, giant cutout of one of the CEOs that, not the CEO, one of the site managers ended up going like global and got a promotion. So everybody made faces of him. And a couple of Googlers approached me and were like, hey, want to do something really, really funny? Long story short, the face ended up on the backside of the women's showers. And we taped it there, and then waited. In about every couple of minutes or so, you would just hear a loud scream because it looks like a dude peeking around the corner. It was one of the funniest things I think we've ever done on that site. I'll have to tell you guys a lot of stories about Google in general. There were some funny shenanigans that went down. Anyway, while we're making good progress, there's much more to do to build a better, stronger, and more resilient Starbucks. Shares of Starbucks ticked slightly higher in pre-marketing trading after announcement early Thursday morning. I wonder if this has anything to do with like Charlie Kirk people, people writing negative things on cups about Charlie Kirk. Starbucks weathered sluggish sales in recent years as customers grappled with year-long bout of elevated inflation, analysts previously told ABC News. Company has experienced 6 consecutive quarters of declining same-store sales, a metric that examines performance in individual locations over time. Starbucks has sought to improve the interior of many of its stores in an effort to draw customers and boost sales. How are you going to do this, guys? In a review of its locations, the company identified stores where such changes were not achievable. Why? Because barista unions or something? During the review, we identified coffee houses we were unable to create the physical environment for our customers and partners expect. Or unable to create the physical environment. Unable to. That's what I should say. Not unable to create whatever. Or where we don't see a path to financial performance. These locations will be closed. Okay. Each year we open and close coffee houses for a variety of reasons, and from financial performance to lease expirations. This is a more significant to lease. I'm reading that wrong. Each year we open and close coffee houses for a variety of reasons, from financial performances to lease expirations. Good God. I could have just said that right the first time, right? This is a more significant action that we understand. Let me move myself over to a little bit more of, there we go. A little better. Our coffee houses are centers of the community, and closing any location is difficult. And probably isn't that hard. The company expects to end fiscal year 2025 with 18,300 store locations in the U.S. and Canada. Nichols said. Starbucks plans to inform employees this week at stores designated for closure. Starbucks hopes to relocate the employees to other stores. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. That's why you're laying off 900 people. Not going to happen. But whatever. Anyway, let's see what people are saying about it, though. That's what Starbucks is saying, but blaming inflation is kind of a really stupid thing to say. You know, people are not stopping going to Starbucks, and you don't need to lay off 900 employees because of inflation at this point in time. The inflation was at its worst in 2022 and 2023. That was probably the absolute worst year we had ever seen. And yet, Starbucks was fine. So, let's see what this person's saying. Trump's radical Republican regime further erodes the economy, rips jobs from workers, and harms American businesses. This is awful. That's not why they're closing. Starbucks is outrageous. I prefer Blue Mountain coffee from Jamaica or 8 o'clock coffee. Why do people think Starbucks is special? You need to restructure your diabetic ingredients. Yeah, there's that. I'm sorry, Starbucks baristas, but I have been boycotting this giant for some time. They treat their employees terribly. Go to your local coffee shop and support small businesses. There are a million different places for Americans to go get coffee. Coffee houses are probably the most populated business in any town. Like any town, most towns probably have like 30 or 40 coffee places. I'm not even kidding. Small towns, too. I know in one of the smallest towns, they have 4 coffee places in one of the smallest towns I know that's not that far from me. 4 of them. 3 of them local. One of them is it's their new one. It has the windmill. Dutch Brothers. So, yeah. Coffee houses are going nuts. Especially with Dutch Brothers taking over everything. Like, they're going to have a hard time. Starbucks is going to have a really, really hard time because the Dutch coffee place, whatever, Dutch Brothers, they make their coffee. They have strong coffee. Strong coffee. They make their stuff with a lot of coffee. And Starbucks just ain't going to compete with that, you know? Now, the problem is Dutch Brothers takes so long. So long. But their Golden Eagle cup, oh man, I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I don't really like coffee very much. That Golden Eagle, though, I get that every time, and it wakes me up. It's crazy. Guess their employees shouldn't have alienated all the Kirk supporters. Yeah, that's really what's going on. And I'm willing to bet that most of these places closing are probably in red areas, if I had to guess. More Tim Hortons locations, please. I don't know. I've never had that place. That's a Canadian thing only, really. Well, if you don't have one on every corner, geez, I can't drive a mile without seeing one, right? Rock, do you have a list of states and locations that are being shut down? I wonder about this. Starbucks hasn't released an official list. We're going to keep up with this story, guys. Sorry, I was not able to speak on this properly. I don't know why. This, I messed up, I think, reading this article more than I have at any given time. So, you know, anyway. Sorry if it's a rough listen. I think it's hilarious. It's get woke, go broke. They're not going to admit it. But when their list comes out, I will be covering it. I have a feeling that there aren't going to be very many in LA shutting down. I have a feeling that there's not going to be very many in New York shutting down, or Chicago, or any of those very popular cities. I doubt that there's even very many going down in Tulsa. But I'm willing to bet that we're going to see a lot be shutting down in very red areas. Well, I guess we'll see what happens, right? Get woke, go broke. That's the messaging. And it's going to get worse for companies if they don't cut the left-wing garbage out. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Link down in the description below to my Discord. Please join that. You can submit things to me when I do my live stream later today. I may watch your stuff, you know? So, yeah, we'll have conversations. We'll have a good time. It's a good community. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.